Someone who can really tell you firsthand what a difference Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and Team in Training has made in her life. So please join me in welcoming our honored speaker, Devon Marth from the Illinois chapter.
Arms, hands, bars, knees, spinning blur, fast trees. Heart bangs, tires sing, wind roars, gears ching. Climbing grade, sweat drips, heavy leg, a couple slips. Breathing deeper, suck the air, crest a hill, pedals tear. Feel no pain, feel no burn, still time to go, another turn. Mind is clear, thighs are tight, rolling speed, wheeled flight, cycling. Welcome, Team in Training cyclists. My name is Devon Marth, and I am honored to be here with you on the eve of America's most beautiful bike ride. This room is filled with excitement, anticipation, and wonder. Each of you is here for an incredible reason. Whether you are here to ride, here to support, or here to celebrate, your reason is as unique and as special as you are. There are riders among us, coaches, mentors, alumni, family, and friends, and supporters. We all come together here tonight, unified for an amazing cause. We are all here to find a cure, not just for blood cancers, but for all cancers. I believe a cure for one can lead to a cure for all. I am blessed to share with you that in October of 2011, I will celebrate 10 years cancer-free from Hodgkin's disease. I don't know why I got cancer. I don't know what caused my cancer. I may never have the answers to the many questions I have about cancer. What I do know is that I am forever changed from my experience with it. With me tonight is an amazing team of women that I personally asked to join me on this journey. They are a group of women who inspire me daily as wives, mothers, sisters, cousins, daughters, and friends. Among these 10 fabulous females on my team are my only sister, my cousin, a host of girlfriends that I have known since grade school, and a handful of others whom I met in my 30s. We are Team Harley Devonson, and together we have raised over $35,900 for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. My story that brings me to this moment, to this night, and to this event begins in October of 2001. I was 29 years old and had just moved into a new home with my husband, 2 daughters, and newborn son. I was living the life I had always hoped for, the life I had dreamt about. I was a young mother living in suburbia. I was involved at the preschool, dealing with the terrible twos, caring for a newborn, and enjoying every precious minute of being a stay-at-home mom. I had been bothered for several months with a debilitating cough that began in June. Every time I would speak or sing, I would lose my breath and begin to cough. This cough, like no other I had experienced, was so taxing that I had actually broken ribs. There were times that I would have to tell my family and friends that I needed an hour off from speaking just to relieve the brutal headaches it created and give my already fractured ribs a break from the impact. I had mentioned this cough to my doctor each time I went in for my pregnancy visits. Take Robitussin to help you sleep at night, he would tell me. But I don't cough at night, I would explain. He assured me that this cough must be pregnancy-induced and would go away once I delivered the baby. I trusted this was the case, and I delivered a healthy baby boy on August 20th. Here I was, though, in October, with my baby, and the cough persisted. After trying inhalers for asthma, allergy medicine, and a host of cough remedies, I finally had a chest x-ray. This x-ray would reveal a large tumor in my upper chest cavity. The tumor was pushing on my windpipe, creating a cough. I was literally running out of air. I could not breathe. The days and weeks that followed the x-ray were filled with appointments, scans, and surgeries to determine exactly what lived inside my chest. October was a month filled with pain, anxiety, and terror. What was I facing? A biopsy would reveal my official diagnosis of Hodgkin's lymphoma. My son was just 9 weeks, and my daughters were 2 and 4 years old. Due to the location of my tumor, surgery was not an option. The tumor was too close to my heart, wrapping itself around places too dangerous to touch. I would have to go through chemotherapy and radiation to shrink the tumor. This was the only option. I can vividly remember the day that my attitude about my cancer changed from fear, helplessness, and resentment to empowerment. I had just had a procedure done called a gallium scan. It was a scan that would highlight any cancer thriving inside my body. I returned home from the scan to find my husband upstairs in the nursery with my infant son. He could tell by the look on my face that I had something important to share. I proceeded to tell him that I had radioactive material inside my body that would be dangerous for our children to be exposed to. I went on to explain that for the next 7 days, I would not be able to hold or feed my infant son, and that I was not able to hug or hold my precious daughters. He fell to his knees and sobbed. It was at this moment that I realized that this wasn't just my cancer. It belonged to everyone around me. It belonged to my husband, my parents, my children, and all who were close to me. That was the day that I knew that I needed to take control. I would own this. I decided from that day forward, my mantra would be, I have cancer, but it doesn't have me. My treatment began in early November, just days before my 30th birthday. My routine over the next 16 weeks would consist of 8 cycles of chemotherapy, followed by 3.5 weeks of radiation. I was given a cocktail, as doctors referred to it, which I would know as ABVD. Research would prove that this particular combination of medicine was effective in treating Hodgkin's disease. I started to know these drugs intimately and took on a relationship with each one of them, as they had their own distinct personalities. I knew exactly how they were going to affect me, what they smelled like and looked like. I really despised A. A was a she, and she was bright red going into my vein, and I learned she was the nasty culprit that made my hair fall out. I hated D too. D was a he, and he was awful, as he caused so much pain going into my vein that my arm had to be packed in ice for the hours that he quietly seeped in. B, a he, and V, a she seemed harmless, so I took no issue with them. They became my favorites, and I appreciated their silent way of sneaking into my body without the production that A and D seemed to make. What I should have realized in those early treatments was that this cocktail was going to save my life. Although they caused me great pain in the process, what they would ultimately do in the end was to destroy that tumor in my chest and get me back to the life I was meant to be living. In those months from November to March, I would experience highs and lows, moments of extreme sadness and moments of laughter and joy. There was the high in receiving scan results on Christmas Eve that would show that my tumor was 90% gone. There would be the low spending Christmas night in the emergency room to find that I had a very painful infection in my veins. There was the moment I stood in front of the mirror, observing that my pregnancy weight was still lingering, and I shook my head and said out loud, "It just figures, Devon, not even the chemotherapy diet is working for you." I can remember the day that my mom came to my house. She was there to watch the kids so that my husband and I could get a much-needed night out. When she realized I was going out without a hat or a scarf, she began to cry. "I just don't understand," she said. "My hair is my crutch. How can you go out like that?" "Well, Mom," I said with the usual spit and vinegar I could spew, "it doesn't bother me a bit, and it's not my job to make other people feel comfortable about my bald head. Besides," I told her, "not having eyebrows is what really bothers me. I look like a seal." And I smiled, and this made us both laugh. And I marched upstairs and proceeded to put mascara on the one eyelash that was there. These moments of laughter and humility were so refreshing and necessary to my healing process. I was blessed with endless support and prayer from family and friends during this time, from the girlfriends who got my family a cleaning service for those 5 months, to the strangers who brought dinners, to my sister who came to my treatment with me, to my cousin who came from Chicago once a week to give me a break from my kids, to my husband's unending attention and patience, and my parents doting on me and feeding me. I was surrounded by an incredible life force that propelled me through those dark days. In the end, I was cured. The treatment had worked, and I had come out victorious. My hair started to grow, and I no longer had the cough that plagued me for so many months. Finally, I could breathe. The 5 years after treatment would be filled with follow-up appointments, scans, and blood work every 6 months to be sure the cancer didn't return. My children had more birthdays, and so did I. As I approached my 5-year anniversary cancer-free, I decided that I wanted to give back. But give back how? I had this overwhelming need to do something amazing, to be part of something bigger than I. 5 years cancer-free is an incredible milestone for any cancer survivor. I had heard about Team in Training before, but its significance in my life, now that I was a blood cancer survivor, became more apparent. I did some research and I decided I would run in the 2006 Chicago Marathon and raise money for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I couldn't think of a better way to give back to the very society responsible for my cure. What began as a simple goal for me turned into an extraordinary journey that didn't end with the marathon. The outpouring of support and generosity from friends and family in 2006 overwhelmed me. I had set a personal goal to raise $3,000, but raised over $11,520 for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I was so moved and so proud. The training program was remarkable, and the event itself was one of the most rewarding emotional experiences I had ever had. For me, the event was more than just a marathon and celebration of my personal triumph. It was also a mission to save those who were still fighting or those who would fight in the future. As my 10-year anniversary approached, I longed for a new event to celebrate my continued health and to once again give back in a big way. I decided I would take on America's Most Beautiful Bike Ride. We are all here to take on America's Most Beautiful Bike Ride. For some of you, this is your first event. Whether it's your first, 5th, or 10th event, you have made a choice to participate in something amazing that will move you from beginning to end. You have worked tirelessly to raise money for LLS. You've had fundraising events and reached out to family and friends in support of your mission. You've been training for months, and tonight, in this moment, it's time to reap the benefits of your hard work and dedication. It's time to be proud of your efforts. It's time to finish what you started so many months ago. You have trained, you've raised money. Tomorrow is the culmination of your entire journey. You earned this moment. You earned your glorious ending. Many of you are feeling confident and invigorated with no doubts about finishing the ride. Some of you may be nervous and anxious or fearful about not finishing. I can tell you from my experience with TNT, you are in good hands. There will be a sea of purple on the course tomorrow. Family, friends, mentors, and coaches out in droves to show their support and to encourage and motivate your every spin of your wheels. I have experienced what it means to have Team in Training behind you for an event of this magnitude. You are not alone. You will not be alone. There will be moments that you may feel like you cannot possibly move another inch. When you feel discouraged or defeated, turn your thoughts to those recently diagnosed, those currently in treatment, or to those who have tragically lost their battle with cancer. Think of a survivor and what they went through during treatment. Think of the family and friends who have supported you on this journey. Think of your team. Remember why you ride. Think of Team in Training's mission. Focus on the word cure. I truly believe a cure for one cancer can mean the cure for all. What you have done, what you are doing is making a difference. Lives will be saved. Just when you think that you might not make it any further, you will find that you made it up that hill, or if you're terrified like me, down that hill. Your thoughts of others will get you that much closer to the finish, and finish you will. We come together tonight to make a difference in the lives of those with the blood cancer. We come together for the ride of a lifetime and a fight for the lifetime everyone deserves. To quote Joseph Campbell, a hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. I am honored and proud to be standing in a room filled with heroes. Thank you.